Oh, low battery. Great.
Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel the Wizard.
Howdy, all. Fox here.
All right, so I'm actually going to mess with my settings real quick.
Yeah, you need to bring your volume up a little.
All right, can you hear me now?
Different position.
All right, is that better?
Still sounds like you're kind of far away.
How about now? Do I still sound far away?
I don't know. Maybe it's just my phone.
Anyways, so James says I don't sound far away. Okay.
Yeah, my volume's turned up to max, so now that's gonna have to do.
All right. Do I need to silencio myself?
Do you need to do what?
Oh, James says that I'm coming across loud. Anyways.
Okay,
so
just me then. Fuck.
Hearing aid.
Yeah, right. Batteries. I'm out of batteries.
All right, so hang on. I don't know if this is going to mess with anything, so hang on.
Okay, you're frozen. Oh, there you are.
Okay, yeah, well, hang on just a second. I got to do it again.
Well, this is interesting.
All right, there we go. Coming at you sideways, that's what James says. Anyways, let me make this stuff full screen for me. Anyhow, so one of the things, so David, let's tell people while we're on here what we're doing today, why we're doing this today, and why.
What? Dude, seriously, I can't hear you. I'm going to leave and come back in. Maybe that's the issue.
All right, maybe. All right, so I'll go ahead and do it. So anyways, so the reason why we're here doing this live stream now is because last week David and I decided to get together. We were going to record an episode, maybe two, so that we wouldn't have to really record this week. So we kind of take a week off from the recording and, kind of spend some time gathering ourselves for the new year. But whenever we went to hook it all up, man, I was spaced out a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. David's coming back. Let's see if that helps. So I was a little bit out of my head a little bit. David and I were talking a little bit, and man, I plugged in the interface. Like, I plugged it in with a 12-volt power supply that I use for the headphone amplifier. I've never done it. I don't ever plug in the interface because it's plugged in and powered by USB. Well, for some reason, out of my mind, I just plugged it in and went to get going, and then we went to put the headphones on, went to go to the mics, and it showed everything was maxed out on the interface. It was getting no sound. The sound was finicky. Nothing was really working. Lo and behold, interface was plugged in. So didn't have the backup interface that I had in my truck that was at the shop, so we couldn't record the episode. So we didn't have an episode released today, and that is the failure on our part. So now, failing forward, we decided to kind of kick off and do what we've been talking about doing, and start doing these weekly live streams and having a discussion here about some of the things that are going on. We'll try to keep it to a point. We'll try and have it matter in some way whatsoever, but essentially we're here because we failed to do something else, but the ship must keep moving, so this is what we're doing now. Got that, David?
Yeah, no, you're still really quiet. I might have to go inside. Too much background noise for me to really hear well.
Maybe you should get some headphones.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually.
If you have some, it'd probably be useful to use. If you don't have any in the future, it'd be something to consider.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna see about that.
So Nancy says, "Hey." Justine says the universe is showing me the way. And yeah, so that's the update on the people chatting. So David, I don't know. Can you see the comments, David?
Negatory.
Yeah. So any of the comments that come up. So just so you guys know, I'm hosting it from StreamYard, and David is invited on as a guest, so he won't see the comments unless I pull them up and put them on the screen like that. So you see it up there now, David?
Hey guys. Yeah, I see that.
And then Justine says the universe is showing me the way
Nice,
with
nice,
our
good.
failing forward.
Yep, it's the way to
All right.
way to do it.
All right. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about on this tonight, can you hear me a little bit better, David?
Yeah, that is a little better, but I'm inside now, so
Yeah. Well, just make sure that your headphones don't cover up the mic thing.
okay.
Anyhow, are you plugged in?
Give me a
Will your phone even take that kind of plug? You got an iPhone, bro.
Yep, I forgot.
Anyway, so I'll try to talk loud.
Okay, well, this is a good test. Next time, I'm probably going to do this on a laptop.
Just so you know, look at the screen, David. Look at the screen.
Nice. Thanks, James. Appreciate you. I don't think I have any Apple headphones. What is this?
All right. So, anyways, to anyone listening, you can keep rifling around for your shit, David, if you want to. That's okay.
Well, looks like that's what I'm going to do.
All right. So, if you can hear me, respond. If not, I'm just going to talk. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up is this gets brought up quite a bit, actually. You know, we get asked if we're a cult or we're starting a cult. We get accused of it. So I have. So are we starting a cult, David?
Well, joke's on them because we joked about it way before anyone even mentioned it. So, yeah. Maybe.
Well, yeah. So the whole idea of a cult. So like we're always talking about this happy kindness, hippy dippy shit, wook shit, people would call it, right? It can seem kind of cultish. Can definitely seem a little cultish. I'm not gonna dissuade from that because we talked early on that, man, this stuff could seem a certain way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but you have some really specific feelings about being in a cult, and I don't think that's our goal. I don't.
I mean, I have firsthand experience of being in a cult, and it's not something I recommend.
Yeah. However, my family does get called the sunflower family, so I don't know. You starting a sunflower cult? Anyway, so yeah, and then also it seems kind of the whole we got 3 reviews, so we have 3 reviews, 3 5-star reviews, and we get attacked for only having 3 reviews. Like,
yeah, but they're 5-star.
Yeah, but we only have. So I just want to point out that like people are like attacking us because 3 people have reviewed us.
Shall we just take the reviews down and have none?
I don't know. I don't really know the solution. I think it's funny that people are using that to attack something though. Like, and then also with the Wook episode when we talked about some of the stuff engaging in some of these groups.
Yes.
Like we experiment with some of these things because there are things that are cult-like, right? We just and we don't want to fall into the trap of the cult shit. So like we're trying to expose cult things too. So
yes, for sure.
Anyways, moving on. That was the only thing I wanted to address with the cult stuff.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens, eh?
All right, I'm gonna freeze my camera real fast again.
Oh, no, all right, well. Lip read. What?
Oh, well, no, it seems as though that I've addressed all the things that I intended to address.
Okay. So
do you have anything? Huh?
So the live stream's over?
Nah, it's not over if I don't want it to be over, man. We got 5 people watching, so we can talk. It's only been 10 minutes.
Oh, I
I
can't see that either.
I can though. And
Okay.
trust me. Just trust me.
Okay,
So
trust you.
Justine makes read that. It says the cult is not the way forward. David is right.
Wow, that's a first.
Settle down, dude. That was nonsense. So it's not COVID, it's allergies. Calm down. Calm down. Oh, so look, I'm gonna find Tom Smith says it's impossible to avoid cult behavior. Where there are people that get together, cults are formed. It's human nature.
Yeah. Hello, Tom. Glad to see you here.
Yeah, so I think maybe cult behavior. Yeah, I mean, when you hang out with your friends and you're like enjoying your life and shit like that, some of that shit can seem weird to some outside people. That can seem cult-like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you have a group of people get together and they do certain things in certain ways that are, let's say, outside the norm, yeah, that definitely heightens the perception of, ooh, there's something weird going on there. There's a little secret group going on doing secret things secretly. But we're not. It's not. There's no secret.
Hang on, David. Nancy just asked, "Are your 3 reviewers free to come and go?" So
That's a good question. That's a good question.
I think the reviewers are free to come and go. I don't care if they stay. If they don't like it, they don't
Oh,
have to.
so I can let them out of the basement? Is that what we're doing now?
I'm sorry. I'm having technical issues. I
Sure.
didn't hear.
Technical issues. Yeah, breaking up.
I'm pulling a Kamala Harris. Okay.
Can you cackle?
Cackle. I don't know. So Chastity says hello.
Hello,
I
Miss
want to
Chastity.
point
How you
out
doing?
Tom Smith specifically said hello.
Hi, guys.
James is giving O faces. I don't know what he's doing. And Nancy asks, "Are you a commune? Are
We
we a
don't have the
commune?"
land for that yet.
Yeah. Look, we don't have the land for a commune yet. So James suggests that it's tribalism.
Oh, the thing being perceived as culty. That's tribalistic or what? I'm not
I
sure
don't
where
know.
he's going with that.
Look, I gotta this is Fifth Avenue's shirt. So Chastity's
Nice,
on the Fifth Avenue. She's in the live stream. So she noticed the shirt.
nice.
Yeah, hey, look, I want to show you guys. Look, I made a hat yesterday. What do you guys think that is? Anyways, so Tom says that we have to get a compound if we were to do it.
Oh, for sure.
You got to have a way to keep them in, right? You got to have a way to fence them in.
Yeah, the basement
I
will
mean,
get
no.
crowded eventually.
Keep people out. I'm sorry, wrong. I mean, keep people out. Not keep people. That's the wrong thing.
Well, it's just healthy boundaries with landmines and razor wire.
Look, if you can instill enough psychological fear, you don't even have to put none of that stuff out there.
No, that's true. That's why you go for the broken souls.
Way less physical labor that way.
Yeah. Yep.
And then how would they and then contact the mothership, says Justine.
Oh yeah, they'll be doing
Look,
a flyby.
we just gotta wait for it to pass by.
And everybody quick, drink your Kool-Aid. They're coming.
Speaking of cults, you know, the thing in Waco with the David Koresh and all that stuff.
Yes.
You know, for a long time, I really had I would say a fed view of that.
Right.
I read the newspaper clippings and I bought into the messaging. But then, like, you watch some of the documentaries, you talk to some of the people, and you realize that maybe they went in a little too hot, just a little bit.
I think I mentioned this to you before that I actually saw the live helicopter footage when it was all kicking off. So the live footage was very different to what was later aired as non-live. Certain things were just not shown. So
Yeah. So, so James says, address Tom's cult comment. Are you
which
talking
one?
about the compound? That one? Is that the one, James? If that's the one, let me know. So anyways, yeah, it's funny to think about cult because I've always talked with people. I've always kind of had this idea that I kind of want to live in this area with some people that close to me, but like shared communal things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know. Like I've lived in a couple of situations with some selfish people, and I'm just like, man, like if this is how people are, I don't think I want to do that.
Well, the thing, I don't know what James was saying exactly, but the cult and the commune thing are a little bit different because usually if it's a commune, people are free to come and go, and the communes themselves usually collapse due to internal politics and laziness. Um, whereas cults, they're quite regimented in the way they, shall we say, administer people's daily activities. So there's less chance for laziness and
Yeah,
going
they stay right
against.
on top of that stuff, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so I think it was Tom saying that it's human nature to get into cult behavior and to avoid cult behavior. Like you can't avoid cult behavior. So I don't know. I don't know. I think if unless like what would specifically be cult behavior? What would be, I guess, what would be cult behavior that would be unavoidable? Because I think maybe, but it depends on the perspective of what you think cult behavior is. Because what I think cult behavior is may not be. I think what I think cult behavior is might be avoidable. You know, I guess that's the negative view of the cult shit, though.
Well,
The
the difference for me between a cult and a religion is generally that um, a cult will have kind of all the hallmarks of a religion, but in general, it's kind of centered or focused around a single charismatic individual. Sometimes a couple, like the moon cult. Um, but yeah, the center in a cult, the center of focus is predominantly the leader, and the religious side of it is all just there to kind of bolster the leader's standing or position.
well, the leader's the only one that can get the message, so that's why he's the leader. He has to disseminate the message, right?
Right. The thing is,
Well,
once
let
you
me be
start
clear.
looking at it,
I'm not receiving any messages from any higher being, so we're
you're not.
already gone there. Nope. Nope. I
Oh,
just listen to the universe, man. I'm not, I'm just kidding. I mean, I do listen to the universe, but not in that way.
yeah. No, yeah. I lost that train of thought.
Oh, so Justine says there are many form of cults. I would agree with that. And so, like,
Yep.
I guess the negative, I immediately get a negative connotation of the word cult. And then, like, the egotistical leader, the narcissist controlling everything,
Oh yeah,
having to
definitely
play with
big
all the
ego.
ladies and some of the fellas or if they so choose. Um, and yeah, so just want to let you know in the comments, James asks Tom, what's your experience that you're speaking on with the cult stuff?
Oh yeah. All
And
right.
and then Justine makes a comment, take me to your leader. So Tom says there's no difference between normal, socially acceptable norms, a cult, and a cult. Some mechanism. I'm sorry, I'm reading that. Let me go over here. There's no difference between normal, socially acceptable norms and a cult. Same mechanism. It's just so happens our cult leaders have it all locked down good. Hmm. There's no difference between normal, socially acceptable norms and a cult.
Yeah,
Okay, I think that
yeah, I can
that's
agree with that. It's just that it's outside of the social norm. It's why it's frowned upon.
yeah. So it's the
Essentially,
same.
from the
It's the same
outside.
mechanism. Yeah, I would agree. It's the same mechanism there. So Nancy says being persuaded to renounce all your worldly goods is part of a cult. Becoming dependent on leader. Look,
Yes, I agree. That is one
I don't think
aspect of it.
I don't think that I'm somebody. My kids have struggled depending on me, man. I don't think anybody, none of you guys should be dependent on me for anything as far as.
You got enough mouths to feed.
Now, look, so you are capable in your own right. If I do something to inspire you or something like that, that's what I'm here for. But if you're dependent on me, your expectations will definitely set you up for failure because do not depend on me in that regard because that's not something I'm willing to carry, nor will I give it up.
Yeah, no, something else that cults do. Sorry, I'm trying to flip my camera around to where it's easier. But anyway, yeah, one of the things that cults do also is that they alienate their members from any other support networks. So from
Well,
families, from friends, and so basically to instill the dependence of the members on the leader. So yeah,
well, we kind of preach that sometimes, though, in some regard, not specifically that, but like if you're dealing with a tumultuous, toxic situation, it might be best to cut ties, right? And
well,
and like
sure,
so
but do you want to?
on the surface, it could seem that way, especially someone feels threatened, like they may be being accused of being toxic.
Sure, but do you want to jump from what is potentially a codependent relationship of one form into another one? You know.
I mean, those people certainly feel more comfortable doing that. Me, as a codependent person,
Oh,
I've certainly,
that's definitely prime flock material.
yeah, yeah. So I definitely want to avoid that. I don't like that. So, so James says, right, but the claim was it's hard to avoid cult behavior. Is that mechanism one and the same? So the behavior, I think the cult behavior is the way that people blindly follow. I think if you get a charismatic leader and enough, it's like, oh, you buy into enough stuff, you just eventually quit questioning stuff because they've answered all the right questions for you. And then like you're just like, yeah, yeah, whatever he says, whatever Trump says, I'm gonna follow him, and all that stuff. So brainwashing, yeah, Nancy says it right there, brainwashing. So that's essentially what it is. And then like if you look at like some of the things that are given to us as consumers, all of the marketing, all of the marketing is just ego marketing. It's to brainwash. It's to give you this. Is to give you this inflated view of yourself, or a deflated view, so that you'll inflate your view by using their products. That's just essentially what ego marketing does.
Well, I think also something that makes someone more susceptible to joining a cult or becoming a part of a cult is not wanting to carry personal responsibility, wanting to put the responsibility on someone else, and the cult leader offers that. He says, "Give me your burdens. I'll be responsible
I'll
for you.
solve your
I'll take care
problems.
of you."
I'll solve your problems for you. Just do these couple things for me, and I'll solve. Ooh, that sounds all right. So I want to say the Chastity comment. She says cults tend to alienate the members, one to control and two to achieve the elitist mentality among the members. You read that, David?
I'm trying to read it. It's a little small on my screen.
I'll read it
Cults
again.
tend to alternate the members.
Alienate.
Alienate. Yeah, it's really small. I need glasses. The members, one, to control, and two, to achieve an elitist mentality among the members. Agreed completely. The elitist attitude is definitely very predominant in cults. At least the one I was in. Yes.
She says they also lure in others with a false sense of security.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, when people are like, so Nancy says vulnerables. Yeah, so the vulnerable. So if there's somebody that's vulnerable, yeah, boom, drop them right there with that false sense of security. And see, that's the fearful thing about being vulnerable. I think people have is being like you may become susceptible to something like that if you're too vulnerable, right? That's a scary thing about vulnerability, I suppose. Um,
Yeah, and we as a project do talk a lot about vulnerability. Identifying your vulnerabilities, addressing your vulnerabilities.
look, I'm gonna put this on here, and you can decide to comment if you want, David. But
Hello, Jeff. Good to see
that
you.
is you read the comment. This is
I
for
see it.
yeah. All right. So, anyways, I don't really know about that, Jeff. I don't know. I really haven't given it consideration, but that's definitely something to think about.
Well, I would say that when something becomes ideologized, is that a word? When something becomes an ideology more than anything else, it maybe is susceptible to becoming cult-like because you subscribe to the ideology, you stop thinking for yourself, you just follow the rules as set by the group. So yeah, I can see where he's coming from as far as that goes. No hate,
So
no hate. I'm just
look,
I'm,
so
I'm
just so the comments are known. So James asked Jeffrey, "Is it?" Jeffrey responds, "They go to elementary schools and try to indoctrinate the youth." And James responds, "With some churches do that too." So look, I don't know. I don't know if they are doing that at elementary schools. I have no experience with that, but like what James says, I do know churches do some of that. They try, and I don't know so much indoctrinate, but maybe. Look, I don't know. But yeah, churches show up at schools trying to convert people. And look, there may be nothing wrong with that. I don't know. Again, I'm not saying it is or isn't, but it's just something that I recognize that sometimes it seems a little off. And I think sometimes people operate in a negative way. So, anyways, so, and then James says, and by the way, the education system is the biggest indoctrination system we have. Boom. Yes. So that's prime pickings. Everybody perfect for indoctrination. Go pick them up at the schoolhouse.
yeah. So are you saying, James, that the hate on cults is just because everybody wants to do that, and
Yeah.
they
Everybody
find it
wants to
offensive
have
when
their
some
cult.
freelancer comes along?
Yes. They want to have their own cults.
You're already in a cult. You can't join another one.
So Jeffrey says the question to ask is what exactly is a cult and what does the word mean in practical sense? And I think that's fair. And I think that
Yes.
that requires some digging in, right? And I don't think that I'm expert enough to know enough about that, but it is a good question because that's what that's what we're here talking about because we've been accused of cult things and I'm sitting here questioning things that damn, are we doing cult shit? But then I'm just like, but like the main principle of it, I'm not about that. But then like all the other new stuff, maybe. But anyways, so Nancy says that ROTC did that in schools. Yes, they did. They really tried to get the military thing going on in the schools so that they could jump right into some leadership programs in the military.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
Tom says school is indoctrination to the workforce, and that's a fair. I think that that's fair.
The
That's
cult
fair.
of factory. Yes, the factory cult.
Yeah. Look. James says truth, but I'm joining all the cults. Driftwood, Fifth Avenue, Grind 26, all of them. Nice plug, James.
Yeah,
Also,
smooth.
by the way, just so you guys know, James is working on this little side hustle group thing. It's not a hustle. It's
Cult.
really about iron sharpening iron, man. He's really gung ho on this stuff, man. Not really in
It's
a negative
it's
way.
his little man cult.
It's his little man cult. But I'm gonna tell you guys that he's trying to operate and do something bigger than himself, just like the rest of us. So if he ever makes that public and open invite, I'll be sure and let you guys know. So stay tuned. And anytime James hops on, you be sure and ask him about that shit and hold his ass accountable because that's what he wants.
Yes, he wants a beating.
And James also says it's a cult classic. Ooh, cult classic. What
Right.
about Fight Club as a cult?
There is no Fight Club.
Yeah, there's a book and a movie though. So about those, the people that followed the book and the movie are those cults.
Maybe.
So I just want to put Chastity says, just think for yourself and be an individual. Folks, I don't know how to say that properly without saying like a hillbilly. Folks who are secure in their self are less likely to think and be attracted to the herd mentality, cult behavior, or living. Boom!
Agreed.
Dropping some truth. Look, this has been a damn good live stream. All the stuff that's in here, man. And James says there is no fight club. Clearly, he's in one. So,
first rule.
Yeah. Chastity says you can't be an individual, and I think she means in a cult. In a cult, you definitely can't be an individual because they want uniformity and conformity.
Yes, absolutely.
And then Jeffrey says, just like sheep. Absolutely. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to figure things out. They don't want you asking questions. They don't want you challenging shit. Because guess what? Then they have to come up with answers. The more questions you ask, the more answers they got to come up with. And that book's only so thick. They can't keep writing shit in there.
Hey, if you want to, a really good resource on cults, there's a dude, Mark Passio. Just Google or YouTube.
I knew David was eventually going to drop this guy's name. Here,
of course, look. Man, of course. You know.
Hey James, can you do me a favor? Can you type the name in the comments? Because I can't.
How do I do that?
No, not you. Oh wait, maybe I can. Mark. How do you spell his last name, David?
I think it's Passio.
All right, so I put that in the comments so that way people can see the name that you're talking about.
Good.
Continue, Passio.
Yeah, no, I mean, when I first encountered him on the interwebs, I thought, my word, what an asshole! Like serious rudeness going harsh as you like. But the information he's got, the information he delivers, and I don't want to go too much into it, but he again came out of the cult world, and from what he learned while he was in the cult world, he went to studying, and then he's just sharing what his studies are. Really, really insightful stuff.
So Justine makes a comment. She says, I've come to realize that we have no free thought unless we challenge the dimensions we have been given. So what I can say, I'll leave that up there for just a little bit longer. So what I can say is that I think that we get instilled with a pattern, and then we just repeat that pattern and build on that pattern until something makes us question what that pattern is, or the patterns that we've added to those things, the things that we've taken out, whatever. And so until you challenge what that is, right? Like I ask James sometimes, when's the last time you turned the doorknob the opposite way just to turn it the other way, just to say that you don't have control of me. I can do it this way if I want to. When's the last time? And some people don't put a lot of thought in those things. But how many things in your life that are just, you figured it out and you quit thinking about it, right? So now your free thought is gone because you've just boxed it all away and you just operate and blindly do the same thing every time, all the time, trying to avoid anything that's going to frizzle that too damn much. I mean, yeah, so you have to challenge that, I think, but I don't know if that's what Justine was saying, but that's what I took from what she said when she said that she's come to realize that we have no free thought unless we challenge the dimensions we have been given. I think the dimensions is a hard thing for people to grasp, though. So not negatively, but it's hard for me to comprehend like dimensions other than the one that I'm in. So I like to try to describe it, like 2-dimension versus 3-dimension, and then on a sheet of paper and all that.
Well,
stuff.
maybe easier for people to understand if you use the word convention rather than dimension. So conventions is how it's done, and how it's done we're told, and that's kind of something that's handed on to us. This is how it's done. This is convention. So anything that falls outside of that pattern that doesn't fit, we then have the choice of either saying, well, this doesn't fit, so throw it out, or saying, this doesn't fit, why doesn't it fit, and what does that mean in relation to the rest of the pattern? You know, why is there something that doesn't fit into the convention? The thing
Right.
that I thought was normal and regular and how things are supposed to be.
Well, I just want to put up that James put the Dallas Cowboys are the second largest cult in the U.S. I said it, no regrets. I think that is hilarious, and I don't disagree with you, James. And then Nancy says the satanic cults, and I'm not sure if she's referencing the Dallas Cowboys or not, but if so, I agree. No, I'm just kidding. Just
Well,
kidding.
if they
That's a
turn
joke.
the star upside down, maybe.
Yeah. Jeff asked if we've seen The Witcher. I've seen a couple of episodes.
Yeah.
So Tom says this. Or did you have something to say about The Witcher?
About the what? Sorry.
The Witcher. Have you seen The Witcher?
I've seen a couple of episodes. I get the idea. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Tom says the only truth is there is no truth. Just ideas we like and ideas we don't.
Uh-huh.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, I'm gonna tell you. So James, I'm gonna tell you, James dropped some some stuff on me earlier, man. I wasn't really prepared to answer that. I don't know if he asked you this either, but he asked me about, things being essentially two core emotions, things being
Yes. Very good observation. Yes, we had a somewhat lengthy conversation in regards to that, and I agree. There's something to that.
Well, you know what? I think maybe we can figure out a way to carry on a conversation about that, because I do want to have a conversation. I want to find a way to invite people if they want to come have that conversation. Maybe not tonight, but in the future. But I do want to talk about that because I've had some thoughts on the way up here thinking about that.
Well, James, I don't know if he invited you, but he certainly invited me. I think you're invited too. No regrets, lol. Yeah. James actually wants to do an audio room on Facebook after we've concluded here.
Boom! Working all the time.
Yep. That's the life, man.
All right. So Nancy says good comments. Boom. Thank you, Nancy. I don't know if you're talking about us or the people in the comments, but either way, thank you for the good vibes. So let's see. Jeffrey says they literally perform satanic rituals on screen for the viewer in The Witcher. I'd be interested to check that out. Not for my viewing pleasure, but for purely for research.
Steady on now.
Purely for research.
Research purposes, right? Not to enhance.
Because we're journalists and stuff, right? We have to research things.
We investigate.
We investigate. So let's see. So Jeffrey says lots of folks seem to think so because they aren't. I haven't seen the show, so I don't really know. I'm gonna let them play in the comments and talk about that stuff. David, do you have anything else? We talked a lot about cults. I guess it's good that I got this off my chest because I've been thinking a little bit. Because I think early on I was really scared. I was really scared of, honestly scared of being called a cult. That I was trying to start a cult because that grosses me out.
Right.
I want to start a cult. Look, I don't. Look, if anybody knows me, I don't want to make decisions for anyone else. I barely want to make them for myself. And so, like, I don't want to carry the burden of having to lead people by making every decision for them, man. That doesn't seem like fun for me or worth it. I got 6 kids. Like, that's enough of my time. I don't need all these other things going on with cult stuff, right? I'm trying to do the right thing here and become a better man and share with that what I think that is with the world, man. Be the best version of that every day that I can. Like James says, be a damn lighthouse. So,
yep.
So James asks, are cults developed by the perception of outsiders or the action of insiders? That's a good question, James.
Well,
I got to think on that. I can't answer that. I got to think on that.
Exactly, but I will say this, that once you have a criteria for how you would assess something to be a cult, I would suggest taking that criteria and applying it to other things. Because you will find that there's things that we don't consider cultish because it's so normal that you know it's convention again. It's what we're used to, so we don't view it from the outside perspective in a negative way.
Okay. So I just want to read this comment that Chastity leaves. It
Yeah.
says lazy leads to comfort zone, habits, hangups, and behavioral health decline. There's no growth in the habitually minded systems of existence. These folks content to do life this way. I'm sorry, these letters are really small, so it's hard to read. This way are enshrined in their own life complacency with rituals. I'm gonna reread that. Lazy leads to comfort zones, habits, hangups, and behavioral health decline. There's no growth in the habitually minded systems of existence. These folks, I'm guessing, are content to do life this way, are enshrined in their own life complacency with rituals. Yeah, no, I think that whenever you get too stagnant, you're susceptible, right? I think when you get stagnant and you're looking for a quick fix, you're susceptible, man. Because man, these salesmen, woo, boy, they'll sell you something pretty. They'll sell you something pretty, but it'll break down on you on the way home too. And they ain't gonna come fix it for you. You got to call somebody else to fix it.
Better call somebody.
All right.
I'm gonna have to let the dogs in. One of our neighbors is shooting off the 60mm gun again. Raccoons been bad. They've taken chickens and shit. So
James says maybe we just misunderstand cults. Maybe we misunderstand some cults, but I think we pretty much got the grasp on some of them too. But I'm not an expert. Look, I only dabble. I listen to podcasts. You know, I don't really know much about them. I only engage. I've never been involved in it. I don't know the inner workings. Scientology is curious to me, you know. But like, so my digging has no specific results, but I'm curious. Because I do realize something like what Tom says is some of these things are almost inevitable, that you act in some of these ways that definitely give off the scent of this might be that, right? But, you know, I don't know. I think there's a lot to take in here. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this conversation. I'm about to have to cut it down because we're about 45. But I just want to thank everybody for listening and watching. And again, we were on YouTube. If you haven't found us on YouTube, go find us on YouTube. All of these live streams we do will also be on YouTube, because sometimes you guys get booted off of Facebook. I don't know why, but sometimes you guys get booted off of Facebook. David Koresh really was Rain acting like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Or maybe Little Women.
I hope you guys and gals have a fantastic evening. David, do you got anything to say for these people before we leave?
No, I really appreciate everyone who's jumped on here tonight and for contributing comments and such. And yeah, I mean, this is not by any means exhaustive. We're definitely going to come back to this subject, I feel.
Well,
so, yeah, thank you all.
I want to say that we were about to hop off at 10 minutes with not a lot left to say, but man, the people in the comments section rallied up and engaged. And I really appreciate all that. So I think after this, we're actually going to jump over to whatever James has got going on. He's supposed to be doing an audio room somewhere, so I think we're going to jump on that. But I'm probably going to do a quick I got to get my mouth wet a little bit. Just talk for 45 minutes. So I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Share it with everybody you know. Let everybody know you got the two coolest dudes on the block talking it up, chatting it up, talking about real shit that nobody cares about, but should care about.
Yes.
All right, guys.